Hello everybody, welcome back to another installment of the Nightmare Pony series. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jane, and for the past few weeks we've been turning the main 6 My Little Pony characters into evil, spooky versions of themselves. Which, by the way, I suggest you check out the other episodes as well. They're in a playlist called The Pony Zone, so have fun. Now, for context for those of you who are just joining, 2 weeks ago, I put up a poll asking whether I should do Fluttershy or Applejack next in this series. And Fluttershy won because, of course, but I wanted to do Applejack more, so I did her first. And it was kind of a funny little haha bit. And then the week after that, I put up a second poll between Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy also won that. But here's the thing, I put up the poll with my mind already made up on Pinkie Pie, because I had a more solid concept for her at the time than I did Fluttershy. But I thought to myself, how funny would it be to keep this bit going? Well, I wasn't anticipating this, but some of you really didn't like that. And even though this is my series on my channel and my art, I got comments similar to this Hall of Famer right here, where it's like, okay, but it's a video about ponies, and you're not paying to see this, so the entitlement is freaking cray-cray. So that put me in kind of a sour mood about it all. So despite the fact that the rest of you have been perfectly polite and sweet in the comments, thank you so much, we can't let these people have what they want. So this video, despite the title and the thumbnail, is actually gonna be Derpy hooves. Surprise! So yeah, once again, sorry we're not doing Fluttershy this week, but you have these commenters to thank, and we'll get to her eventually. So without further ado, meet Maelstrom, the clumsiest nightmare pony. Her position at the Ponyville mail office means that she can mess up anyone's mail or give anyone jury duty. Mwahaha! Her letter fury can give you 1 million paper cuts, and she will stamp you out of existence. So beware, because she's the new face of Going Postal. Okay, are they gone? Is it just us? Alright guys, double psych. This is actually the Fluttershy video. I just had to make sure the entitled people clicked away, because this video is not for them. You will never get Fluttershy, so help me God. But yeah, now that it's just the cool people here, let's get on to Fluttershy. First, a few quick things, and I'll make it brief because I know you guys want to see the yellow horse. If you like my art, if you like my channel, please consider joining my Patreon, or check out my shop. Both will be linked below. I've got pins, I've got keychains, and stickers, and I recently added my first ever enamel pins, and they're in limited supply, so be sure to snag one. And secondly, speaking of enamel pins, I'm happy to share that I'm part of another Kickstarter in collaboration with Sophie Scruggs and some other talented artists. It's a villain collab, so we've each done 2 little villains from My Little Pony, and even though it's fully funded, you can still claim one of these fun designs, including my Discord and Nightmare Rarity. So I'll also be contributing to the stretch goals here soon, so keep an eye out. As for my sticker club, only a few days left to join and receive one of the main 6 Get Real collection stickers at random. The cutoff is May 1st, so act fast. And lastly, it's time for a fan art feature. I am so glad you guys liked Pinkie Yachi. She got lots of art last week and I was just enamored. I'm obsessed. I made one of these my phone background so I could look at it every day. If you make any artwork of these ponies, be sure to tag me when you post it so that I can see, and then I'll feature you in the next video. But also, sometimes I miss a few, so sorry in advance. Alright, now for the moment you've all been waiting for, Nightmare Fluttershy. And this is another one I'm blanking on the name for. I was toying with Nosferatu, like Nosferatu, but I think it's kind of clunky. So if you guys have any suggestions, leave them below, please. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so in the Nightmare arc of the IDW comics, Fluttershy has a nightmare where she loses the connection she has with her animals, and they flee from her. As animals are a source of comfort for Fluttershy and a big part of her life purpose, it's understandable why this would be distressing for her. And of course, how could I forget Flutterbat, so I definitely wanted to pull some elements from that episode. The vampiric angle also makes sense when you think about how vampires are kind of reclusive. You might even say they're shy. And then I also wanted to utilize the stare that she's famous for, the one that freezes animals in their tracks. One, because I can totally see her using it to control like an animal army, and two, because vampires have that like hypno stare that wipes people's minds, so it's one and the same. Perfect! So her stare would be her means of recapturing the animals that fled from her and making sure that they'll never leave. I also think it would be cool if she could like use the stare to turn ponies into stone like the cockatrice. But here's the vision though, right? Okay. So the Everfree Forest has always been a place that ponies have been afraid to go into, but it has recently been taken over by Nightmare Fluttershy, turning the already spooky woods into an actively threatening place. Where, let's say, you as a little pony are able to get in. Let's say you survive the bears, let's say you survive the wolves. If you were to find Flutterbat's lair, you'd start to get the idea because there'd be frozen pony statues littering the outside premises. So Nightmare Fluttershy would become something of a local cryptid. Alright, you guys, I'll be the first to admit this one isn't as compelling as the others motives-wise. The others have their motives rooted in other ponies, and the only thing I could think of for Fluttershy is that saying of how, kindness is the sunny side of control. Have you ever heard that one? So, in keeping with the theme of turning their strengths up to an 11, I think it would be cool to see her as like a gentle-hearted yet control-hungry character. I also just felt that if her shyness were to be left unchecked, she'd become agoraphobic like a vampire. Also, just a fun thing I'm throwing out there, I could totally see an arc where, like, Applejack becomes a Van Helsing type character and tries to hunt Fluttershy down to try and convert her back. Ooh, or if Van Helsing Applejack was, like, her Apple Hijack form, that'd be pretty cool looking. Ooh. Or I can think of, like, an arc where Rainbow Dash has to go on, like, a Medusa journey. Like, was it Perseus who killed Medusa? Maybe she has to go into the Everfree Forest and, like, get Fluttershy back, basically, but she has to, trick her into looking into a mirror or something. I don't know. Medusa would be, like, a fun motif to play with. I'm just riffing at this point. There was a lot of interest in the comments to see Fluttershy get her powers from Discord, but I wanted to give her her own legs to stand on power-wise because, in this series, we've just been going off of, like, the character's own traits being the things that corrupt them, and I think an external source like Discord would just kind of negate that and be like, oh look, it's Fluttershy with chaos powers, ooh, spooky. Not like there's anything wrong with that, of course, and I think that would be kind of fun to see, but we're keeping with the theme, so help me God. I think the main difference between Nightmare Fluttershy and the other Nightmare ponies is that while the others have like a drive for power and conquering, Fluttershy just kind of wants to be left alone. Like, she doesn't want anything to do with other ponies. And if they come anywhere near her, she freezes them, so she doesn't have to deal with them. Anyways, that's just about it. Let me know in the comments what you think or what you would have done differently, and please leave a recommendation for a name because I don't know, guys. Nosflutteratu doesn't really cut it. But before you guys scoot, I want to make some announcements. Next week will be the last video I have planned in this series, which makes me sad, but also I need a break. So after next week's video, there will maybe be like a week where I'm not posting because I will be napping. Yay! But just to let you guys know right now, I'm planning a Monster High series next, so please stick around. Also, I'll be attending Winnie City in June, so I'll see you guys there. Yay! In preparation for the events I'll be attending this year, I'm developing some new products, so if you'd like to see some of that early, please join my milkshake tier on Patreon. Everyone gets to see things early access and behind the scenes art. Which brings me to a huge, cantankerous, colossal thank you to my milkshake tier patrons, Orbital Bacon and Ivy. Thank you, you guys. A fat thank you to my $10 patrons, Lady Letitia and Cloud Fluffy. And a smaller but nonetheless grateful thank you to my $5 patrons, Joe and Mistress Mercury. So if you'd like your name read out at the end of one of these videos, please check out my Patreon. It'll be linked below. And that's about it. Okay, bye!